Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start. Dave's running just a little bit behind, but he'll be here. So if you'd join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we need to skip the first three and.
We can until he gets here.
Yeah. Well, Josh, we're gonna skip the first three. Would you do the unsafe?
Do the unsafe?
Yep,
You're under the bus.
you're kind of here.
Okay. All right, I handed you a handout there. It's got a handful of things in it. This property that we're talking about is located at 3971 North 2nd Street in Deputy. There's a lot of trash. The house has had a fire in it at some point in time and dilapidated. I think that if you look at the pictures, those pictures were taken today. Kind of self-explanatory. We had the property card and the title search both show the ownership to Amy Jo Hazelwood Cole. Her home address is 339 Garrett Road in Bedford, Kentucky. The property card shows that she's owned it since 6/8 of 2020. In 12/01 of 2023, I reached out to her and she called me back in March of 2024 and explained to me that she had sold the property to a Travis and a Nola Rose, but they had never got it transferred into their name. I did run into them when they were out there one day, and they told me they were gonna clean it up. Never could ever find them or keep in touch with them again after that. The place continued to get worse. In 4/19 of 2024, I sent out a order and notice to clean it up. At that time, I discovered that Savvy LLC, which is Bernard Gupta that's in Boca Raton, Florida, had bought the property at a tax sale and that he would not take possession of it until the middle of September. So on 5/15, I met with Lindsay Wine from the health department. We went out there. She was also going to send them a letter to get the property cleaned up. And as you can see, it has not happened yet. So on 10/31 of last year, I spoke with a George McCoy who works for Vinod Gupta. And he said that he would get back with me when the weather got a little better and they would get the place cleaned up. And then in March 26th of this year, I spoke to Gupta again, and he said, well, that the property had been redeemed and that he no longer owns the property. So we're kind of back to square one. So I sent out another notice. I guess this is where we're at now, but I sent out another notice to Amy Jo on 4/17 of this year, which brings us here today. So at this point, I think we need to get the property cleaned up. I'd like to ask your all's permission to pursue bids on getting the property cleaned up. I sent a certified letter out and I haven't heard anything back. Is Amy here tonight? She's not here this evening. The notice said that she had to be here. I think I give you a copy of that notice. Said that we discussed it on April 7th, April 17th at 5 p.m. So here we are.
Well, we said we wanted to keep the property clean, and I'm sure the neighbors don't appreciate it.
Yeah, if I brought you all the paperwork that I have on this, I'd have had to get a forklift. So
Yeah.
I tried to cut it down to as little as I can.
Who'd the tax statement go out to?
The Amy Jo
Okay.
Hazelwood call.
Okay.
in Kentucky. And when the property was redeemed, I actually found out that Gupta paid the redemption on it so that he could wipe his hands clean from that. So,
Yeah. I make a motion that we allow Josh to move forward. I think been more than lenient,
yes,
and we found out when you're too lenient, what that runs into, so.
Yeah. It's pretty messy.
yes. Yeah, the house is completely filled with trash, and as you can see, so is the whole property, the whole yard, all the way to the street.
Is it another building on there?
There is another building sits back there. It's really not in that bad a shape. That picture, the overhead picture from the GIS.
Is that it right there? It looks like it's right on the tail end of the house, which would be right
Yes,
here.
it's right there, yep.
Okay,
But that picture from the GIS is about 3 years old, so you can tell it's been an issue for quite some time.
because Brian and I went back and looked years ago, and it's amazing in 4 years what it's become, so.
Yes. Yes, it was bad then, but it's progressively got worse.
Right.
And the sad thing is, I think it's starting to grow onto a couple of properties around it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of breeds other messes, so.
So you made a motion.
Yes, I did.
I can second that or not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, I can then. Okay. Well, I'm gonna second it. I think we need to get it cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah. No other discussion? All those in favor?
Motion passes.
We'll get some bids together, because I think that's the next step, and then I'll bring those to you.
Thank you.
All right,
Sounds
thank
good.
you.
Appreciate your work.
Thank you, Josh. Yeah. I know you do work hard for us. Well, looks like we'll go on and start our opioid settlement funding request. Looks like first up is Infants in Bloom. I seen you have your,
Yes, she's gonna run that.
nope, there you go. And appreciate y'all's patience on letting us get
Oh, absolutely.
get
For having us.
ourselves organized.
Absolutely. So about,
Oh, okay.
I'd be in the way of everybody. Is that okay, so everybody
Yeah.
can see? So, wonderful. Well, thank you all for the opportunity to be here tonight. I am Holly Robinson, and I am the founder, along with Maggie and Megan here in the front row, our great team, to tell you about Bloom. So our program, which we think is the only one like it in the country, is a novel program, and we believe it would be a great use of the opioid settlement dollars. I just have 6 more slides. So the first one I'm gonna explain is our why, with just a 60-second video about why we're doing that. And then I'll do a couple slides about our how and our what, tell you about our first few patients, and then why I think it's a great program. So, Meg?
But what if the stress in a young child's life never stops? Violence in the home or in the neighborhood, parental drug addiction, incarceration, or mental health problems, severe neglect or abuse. And what if the adults around that child don't or can't help them cope with it? When children are experiencing situations of fear and adversity, and they do not have that buffering caregiver, they continue to pump out high levels of adrenaline and cortisol.
And here's the problem. If that stress hormone stays elevated, it actually starts to disrupt.
The brain circuits.
And then we start to see the health problems that are associated with toxic stress. Toxic stress takes direct aim at the prefrontal cortex, undermining a child's ability to concentrate, control their emotions, or get along with others. A biological problem that becomes a behavioral one when a child gets to school.
So just a little bit. So I'm a pediatrician. Dr. Diamond Harris is also a pediatrician here in Madison, and we've been caring along with Maggie and Megan for babies who have been impacted by substance use our whole careers. This was a passion of mine. I was actually here till 2018, left Madison to go to Eli Lilly where I did pediatric research for 7 years. But this was always my passion, and I was lucky to be involved in Indianapolis and some other endeavors that brought me back to this. So I left Eli Lilly in December to devote my time full-time to this. So a little bit about our how. So 2 big buckets, so our care model. So this is like how we do this. So we are their pediatricians for the babies. So we do their well care, we do their sick care. We actually are the first ones in private practice in the state that's allowed to deliver their vaccines, which we did today. We also have built, and the reason that we're doing this is these babies who are impacted by substance use, their moms may be in recovery or not in recovery. The babies might be in residential placement in one of our facilities in Jefferson County or maybe nearby Jefferson County. And the baby might also be shifted from home to foster home and maybe back again. So what's really cool about us, we have no physical office. We have an administrative office, but we see the babies wherever they are. So in the home, in grandparents' home, we could go to the daycare, wherever they might be, and if placement changes, we continue to stay involved with them. What Dr. Diamond and I saw throughout our practice is that because of the way funding goes, as soon as funding gets cut off or their Medicaid changes or something like that happens, then all the people that were caring for them can no longer care for them and then they go somewhere else. And as we mentioned in the first slide, our brains are built in those first couple years, and we never knew how important those first couple years are, but once things fire and wire together, it's really hard to change it. And so we put so many resources and effort into doing that later. If we did it in the beginning, the ROI is just incredible. And like they talked about, it comes back to the, it impacts school, ends up impacting law enforcement and all those types of things. Our care plan is actually what we do. So we have high touch. We go and we touch these families every week. In a normal baby that was impacted by substance use, they might see a doctor 6 times during the first year. There's nobody in the whole medical system right now that is doing anything different or special for these babies. They just go home to, wherever they go home, and you'll hear that from our patients. So Maggie has built a 2-year weekly interventions of things that we do with the moms and the babies. We help them bond. We've been taught massage, CPR. This is an anti-shaking program that we do with them to try to help abuse and neglect. We connect mom to resources, all kinds of things that we're doing, special in-depth developmental testing, and try to get them on track. So our first days, we have 5 patients now. We just started in February. So actually someone in the room helped us get our first 2 patients. And the first thing this mom in recovery said to us is, it was hard for me to go back to the other doctor, the doctor that took care of my patient, my children when they were in foster care, because she felt very judged. And she has just been so happy to have our program. The very first weekend, the second baby that we take care of has really bad asthma. We have a state-of-the-art technology so they can send us pictures and videos and text us anytime if they have questions. She immediately, the first weekend, sent a video of her child who was having breathing problems, and we were able to look at that video, respond in a matter of minutes. She, as you can imagine, with all of her struggles, suffers with anxiety. So for us to be able to go respond pretty quickly and say, he's going to be fine, but these are the things you need to do, was really important to her. We've already done in-depth developmental testing on him. We found he has a speech delay, and so he's getting therapy now. One of our other patients, this is a newborn in foster care that came to foster mom at 4 days old, and foster mom said, I'm a very educated person, but I don't know what you do to help a baby recover or restore from that toxic exposure. No one told me what to do. And when I say no one, that doesn't mean it's my fault. Like I said, no one in this medical system is in place to say, this is the scientific basis and this is what you need to do. Don't worry, this is not our patient. This is Maggie's daughter, so we're not violating any privacy. But this is swaddle bathing, so this is one of the things that we teach the moms to do with babies that have been exposed. They're very, very sensitive. Their neurologic system is on high alert. They do not tolerate baths. But so we have swaddle blankets. We actually give them these blankets and they wrap them up and bathe them in warm water with the blanket, which is a very soothing experience. Babies like this have a lot of trouble eating and gaining weight, so we immediately recognized this baby was not doing well with the formula that she was on, so changed that, and she gained a lot of weight today, so we were real excited about that. And we also got to see her poop through our technology device, so mom sent us that picture, and we were able to say it was completely normal, prevented an ER visit, so that was great. And then one of the really cool things that we did this week is this baby is in foster care, but this baby, these parents, this is not, the biologic parents are still obviously involved in, and we hope for reunification. And so Dr. Diamond and Maggie actually went to the visitation and did their visit this week with the biologic parents and answered their questions, and help them understand, some of the ways they might be able to care for their baby, and what also we were having the foster mom do with her baby. So I think that reassured her that her baby was being well taken care of, and getting good care. So Dan, we think it's a great program. There are very, very few interventions in the whole country where infants are the primary recipients of the opioid dollars. So we have found 4 places in the country where babies actually go for rehab. I think that's all. And no outpatient program like we have. So we think it would be great to think about. That's why we're here. Bethany gave us a good amount of money to get us going, and that's enabling our pilot. The patients are out there. Like I said, we've gotten 5 since February. Our caregivers have been wonderful and say they love what we're able to do. And this specialized care, we think, makes a difference. We need multiple funding streams. This is not the only one. We need that because these people are often transient geographically. So if they move from one county to another, we need funding to be able to follow them. The infant placement will change. They come often on Medicaid. We hope to get some money from DCS, but again, if the case gets closed, because the family's doing well, we don't want to penalize them by then not being able to stay their pediatrician, because now all of a sudden we don't have that money. So by weaving together multiple funding streams, we can stay with that baby till they're hopefully 2 is our goal by then, and then switch them over to a regular pediatrician. So in my mind, this is a patient, these are a population, I should say, that has been the least responsible, the most impacted, the most amenable to treatment, and has received the fewest impactful solutions. So thank you so much.
Question for you.
Please.
Does your organization, like
Yeah.
that previous infant, do you step in after, I guess, they're removed from the home?
We will step in anytime. So as soon as we get a referral.
You don't have any legal authority or anything?
No, we do not. Now, we have certainly met with as many people in Jefferson County as we can. That includes judges, prosecutors, public defenders, all of them. And certainly have, they understand what we do, and certainly it's within their capacity to, it is within their right to ask someone or mandate someone to participate, but that is certainly not us. Our participation is completely voluntary. Someone participating with us is completely voluntary. Yeah. But they could, and we have certainly talked about that.
Thank you.
Any question? Awesome. And we'll be here. I'll be here the whole time. So if there's any questions, or do you want to talk to me after?
Thank you. Recovery Cafe. I seen her back here.
I have the printouts of our demographics for the last 3 months. It just basically shows, the demographics of how many people we help each month. And it kind of breaks it down, with gender, dual diagnosis, and the age range that we're helping. Also, each month, every day that we're open, we serve a meal, and anybody is welcome in the recovery community, and the unhoused. So in the month of January alone, we served 385 meals, the month, and over 300 cups of coffee. What we do at the cafe, we have guiding principles. So basically, we believe that everybody is in recovery for something. It's just not drugs or alcohol. So anybody is welcome to come in. We offer resources. All of my staff, including myself, are all recovery, peer recovery, and then I'm a recovery coach. So we work one-on-one with the individuals that come in, and then also we're kind of like a liaison with the court system. Judge Good will send people our way to help, people that have been released from jail or in drug court. Also have a great rapport with corrections. They come down, do their matrix classes, and then we speak to the people and see what their needs are. We work with getting their driver's license back, finding them places to live, and just kind of go through a checklist to, see how we can help meet their needs. The same thing with parole. When somebody gets out of parole, they'll come down and we kind of just go over their needs and see, because we want to make sure that they're able to get the help. We have First Financial coming down. We help with budgeting, getting them checking accounts, credit checks, trying to build that, because a lot of people, don't know how to do that type of stuff. So, like I said, all of my staff, we sit down and do one-on-ones, we do groups, the unhoused come in. We do an MFA program, which is called Member Financial Assistance. So if you have a felony or a misdemeanor charge, we're able to help with $500 a month. But there's guidelines that we have. You have to come to our program or meetings, and we do the one-on-ones. We don't just hand them the $500. It's a 6-month program, and that will help with utilities and rental assistance if they need that. We also did get some funding from Bethany Legacy, but we are also looking for more to expand our programs. We're looking to expand our School for Recovery, which that's going to be a series of 4 to 6 weeks on certain topics. Like we do anger management, life skills, coping skills, and the list goes on. So, like I said, we have about 80 to 100 members that come, and then we also work with the Salvation Army as far as like helping the unhoused in the community.
Good, thanks.
And do you have any questions?
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I've already heard good things about you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. And Recovery Foundations of Southern Indiana. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Miller. This is Shanita Blamion.
Yes.
And what we are doing is we're looking at starting a transitional housing program, recovery housing program that would service up to hopefully 60 people, 30 men, 30 women. We are looking at obtaining some land on the hilltop right now and building from scratch, building from the ground up, so that we can tailor the program to be exactly what we need it to be. This would be like people coming out of jails, coming out of inpatient treatment, coming from anywhere, drug court referrals, that sort of thing. And we would have a program that would be mandatory that they work a recovery program, that they attend, recovery meetings. They would be required to do volunteer work in the community and give back to their community. And what we would like to do is have, the reason we would like to build from the ground up is we would like to have the space available to house meetings and study, different kind of like recovery type studies, Bible studies, any kind of programming that people want to bring in to work with the residents. We would have space to provide for that. They would be required to learn life skills, be part of the programming, those skills like parenting, money management. My mind is going blank. But the life skills that they need, there's so much more to recovery than just getting off the drugs. People always need to learn how to live life in the world and function in the world again. So we would be providing those kind of life skills as well to residents.
The opioid epidemic, as you know, is not just local, but it's statewide, as you know. And I put in the letter of intent, 2023, over 30% of Hoosiers receive treatment for opiate use disorder. So it's a statewide problem. I think locally we have a lot of partners, a lot of relationships that we will be supported. We have several letters in the packet as well, 6 to be exact, I believe, that will show you that there's the existing programs that are here, the existing transitional houses are very competent, very sufficient, but there's still a great need. And so compared to the demands, I don't think we're able to really meet the demands with what we have. I think we want to share the responsibility with the other recovery houses that are here and collaborate to meet the needs of the community. And it would definitely serve Jefferson County residents on a broad scale, not just individuals, but families, as has already been pointed out, families such as the presentation, and then the community at large. And then the board of directors were all people who have worked in recovery, who may be in recovery, and so we are very much examples of what recovery looks like and how it can benefit the community and everyone in it. So I think we have a solid plan as far as what's in front of you in your folder. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. We have not secured funding from any other funding source. We are pursuing that.
We're in very early stages. We just recently got our 501c3, and we've been talking to Bethany Legacy, who is on board and kind of following the progress of our project. So they're planning on assisting with that. So we've been seeking out other funding sources right now, and I'm very hopeful about that.
There's no doubt we have long-term goals, and the long-term goals will be really beneficial as well, as far as self-sustaining the brick and mortar, the program itself, the residents that come in. And we feel confident the community will be supportive as well, because just like the Recovery Cafe, you need community buy-in. And we just really want to collaborate with the existing programs that's already being offered, and then enhance it by offering in-house programs. Like Sherilyn said, the in-house programs would be, we're looking at possibly getting interns from Ivy Tech to facilitate groups. So we could negotiate with Ivy Tech as far as student interns. There are mental health local establishments that are very supportive of transitional housing. Definitely corrections. There's a letter in there from drug court. So feel free to let us know if you have any questions.
You'd probably be thinking like maybe a work release program, something like that.
Not necessarily work release, because we wouldn't take people who are currently incarcerated. They would have to be released from incarceration, but, I know that there's some stuff going on with some programming in the jail as well, so it would be a perfect,
Fit.
yes, to go straight from, get that initial, education in the jail and come out into transitional housing where they can start
That's
putting
what
all
I
that
meant,
into action and living that programming and, getting gainfully employed in the community and being productive instead of being a drain.
Absolutely, and if they're on probation, we would accept that. And just to add to what Sherlin's saying, if they do a curriculum in the jail, such as the Matrix, for people who are involved in criminal justice systems, we can provide the Matrix in the community, so it'd be a nice continuity of care. And then lastly, we will offer and allow, not offer on site, but we will allow residents to access medication for opioid use disorder. And if you have any more, well, Vivitrol to be exact, so Vivitrol is non-habit forming. And that will be allowed for residents in both recovery houses.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you all for bearing with us while we're getting our bearings. Thank you. Yep, appreciate it. Well, we got Dawn Jones and Marlene here.
We got Doug here.
Oh, yeah. He's a silent partner. Okay. Well, Jeff, we got the request, so anything you wanna update us on? Nope.
That's, we just requested that. and
Yeah.
It's coming at a perfect time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, to kind of recap, yep,
I said,
yep, you can, yeah.
for the recap is we're trying to work with the DuPont School Building to keep it, maintained and up. We did have a little issue with the weather, and this is gonna come in extremely handy to help fix that problem. And then we can continue on with what we're trying to accomplish, to make it a solid building.
Right.
Roof was the first priority, right?
Yes, this is first priority, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after the rains we
Yes.
just had, yeah.
And the wind.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, anyway, we've approved, some historic preservation funding for DuPont, and I think Sarah's already taken care of all the paperwork for you, so she may have something for you.
Thank you very
You
much.
might need that.
Yes, we do. Thank you. Thank you.
Get you 20,000 to keep the roof fixed, and you can go on.
Thanks, Dennis.
If you do as well with that as you
As
did
you
that
did the
park.
playground, it will be fantastic.
Yeah, excellent job, and it's not hard for us to give funding where we see you using it for everybody in the community. There was nothing selfish about it, anything you've done, so
Thank you.
very impressive, both of you, and
We ain't done yet.
yeah, I didn't think so, yeah, good for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we can go back
and do
to the start.
Seven's no longer a one road,
Yeah,
one lane road, it's a no lane road.
it's a no lane road.
Yeah, they said at the
You
bottom.
found that out tonight, I
Yeah, I
could.
Sorry.
All right, well, let's go back to our start here. We've approved the minutes for the April 3rd meeting. Entertain a motion to approve those.
I make a motion we approve the minutes from April the 3rd as submitted.
I second that.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Approve accounts payable vouchers.
Make a motion, we approve the accounts payable vouchers as submitted.
I second that motion.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And we approve the payroll docket.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll docket.
I second that.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Right.
Then we'll jump down here to department updates, and I don't know, everybody wants to go first. There he comes. Thank you, Matt.
Well, just to get this out of the way, just so everybody will know, I know it's been a hot button topic item, so we have been added to the disaster declaration for the state. So I didn't really look at the list, to be honest, I saw it's on there, and, but I know there are a lot of other counties that were in the same situation as we were. It's probably just chalking it up to the new crowd up there, and, so and lots going on, a lot. So we've got the declaration, so that's always good news. These things really start a long time before the storm ever gets here, right? With planning and all that business. The beauty of this is these things are fairly slow moving, so, you know, we can kind of pre-state some things, get stuff going out really well. Jason and his crew did a fantastic job getting barricades, stuff like that out. Great, same thing in the city, with the street department. We did a whole lot of flying before and after and during the actual flooding events, so we can kind of just see what things look like as the water progresses and comes in, gets to its crest and then backs off a little bit. I thought thanks to sheriff and the city, the joint operation sandbag operation at the sheriff's department went really well. It was much needed because we had a bunch of empty bags, but we got some sand and those guys filled up quick and so now it came handy and done a lot for both communities. We even were able to take some more to Trumbull County, then get some over there to try to keep the bridge open. So that was always advantageous for us all the same. And so we were able to help meet some of their needs as well. So I think that was huge. Andrew had a good idea about trying to keep that water out of the way, keep the bridge open, keep that one lane going. So that was kind of huge. Again, had time to kind of order some things. You know, we sorted a lot of cleaning supplies. Great suggestion on getting rid of some of the COVID leftover stuff and man.
Not getting rid of it, we're helping people
yes,
out with what we had in supply.
It was being used
Yes.
as it wasn't going to be, so.
Dispersed, exactly, yes, yeah, no doubt. So, so that's come in handy and I got the muck buckets ordered from the state. Came down, that's the Red Cross buckets, if you saw those up there, just squeegee, a mop and a broom and some cleaning supply, stuff like that in there as well. So those things were great to pass out to people. You know, I mean, I think when you stick stuff in people's hands, I think they feel like, all right, man, this is something tangible, and you're doing some things. And I mean, they're looking at a disaster in their house, which is awful. But all the same, it's some help to them, put some things in their hand, eases their mind a little bit. So I've had great conversation with a lot of people. You know, we've really concentrated on the beginning of this whole thing when it was a problem and the water started to recede is the appreciation for them and for the community people who do things to keep the highways open, you know, keep the streets open and keep businesses open, all those things like that. So a lot of people were stuck. You know, a lot of people were just watered in and couldn't get out, and we tried to effect a few rescues. You know, Sheriff's Department had a couple of great pictures of that. We tried to do a rescue on the river to get to a house and just wasn't able to get there. And then the person ultimately ended up refusing, called for some help and said, no, we're not gonna go. So we of course, went on our way. So let's see, I think a lot of people are just very appreciative of all the things that they have seen that have gone on. I think as far as communication wise, Jason, he can confirm that as well. I think the communication between the city and the county has been great. You know, I know there's been some sharing of resources and stuff that we've needed and they've needed, so we've been quick to get that done and help, and it seems like information exchange has gone well. So I think kind of smoothing out that whole team effort thing, and it seems like things are going well again for us. So let's talk about maybe next steps. You know, what the process is going to be. Since there's a state declaration, then we had time to get the state planning team to come down to talk about the public assistance paperwork that goes into what we file for the declaration for like governmental employees. So that gets cities and counties and towns reimbursed for the people who were actually working the event and were tied to the event. So it was nice to be able to get to review the paperwork. We've pulled in a few more people, more department heads to understand how that paperwork works. And the clock system is going to be a big help, and Sarah's huge help on that all the same. So it's nice to be able to capture all the things that we can capture and make sure we're getting bills documented so we get reimbursed for all the things that we can get reimbursed for. Let's see what else. We're just about complete with our first round of damage assessments. The next couple of steps, the Red Cross has already started their round of damage assessments. If in fact there is a presidential declaration, then FEMA will get involved. There are some supplied help to the state. They're going to be the third set of eyes to come down to these assessments, and then ultimately FEMA will come in and do the same thing. So there's 4 different agencies that put their eyes on these properties to do the assessments, and it can be more efficient, I think. But
We're from the government, we're here to help.
maybe DOJ will get to that here sometime soon, and maybe we can cut that down in half or something, maybe. So anyway, so then after we get all those damage assessments done, things like that, if we do get the declaration, then all we can do is brace for FEMA to arrive, and then when they get here, then start getting to work again. So, any questions for me? I think the team's done a great job, so I think we should be really happy with how this is going.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, we're right at 97 flood levels, a foot and a half less.
Yeah.
And that was debilitating, and I think things went really well, really smooth.
Yeah.
For everybody, so thanks.
Yep, thank you, you've done a good job. Thank you.
You're closer, go ahead.
Campground. So the engagement letter, before the meeting, I got Ron's signature and I've already sent that to him, so they'll get going on the campground, property appraisal. They're saying 3 weeks, hopefully it won't be any longer than that. The RFQ for the campground operator, if everybody's good, that's ready to go out Monday. Do you have a place where you send it to, or have?
I mean, she'll get it on the website.
Okay.
Some of it, we're gonna have to just pick some email. Try to do that,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll get you a PDF copy of it instead of a Word doc, so I'll get that for you Monday. The small business grant application window is still open. I didn't do an exact count, but I think we're at least 25 applications so far. We're still accepting applications through Monday the 28th at the end of the day, 4 o'clock. If anybody knows anybody wanting to get in, get your application in the next week, you know. And last thing, American Structure Point has been here in this room for the last 2 days doing the stakeholder meetings on the capital improvement plan. I sat in on a couple of the sessions. Bobby showed up for a while today. Turnout was better, you know, some was better than others, but part I was in for was a lot of good discussions. I think they got a lot of good information. People who couldn't make it for whatever reason, they're gonna start following up with them one-on-one, so got the ball rolling, so it was good, so that's about it. So, any questions?
You're a busy man. Appreciate it.
Keep going.
going on?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got the long walk here.
You want me to break the podium over you?
Don't mind,
It's on wheels.
don't mind. I just gotta say, what you and Brian are doing, that's spot on, that's what we need. With Structure Point, kinda getting the game plan going of what's going on. Great idea, great idea.
Well, I mean, I think in some of that, we don't know when, but you better have a plan because
Yes.
we look around us and see what's going on, and if you're not ready for stuff, you'll either miss the opportunities or it'll happen, but it'll be so unorganized that it'll
Yeah.
be a bad thing.
Well, the biggest part of that is it opens communication lines and you kind of have an idea of what's going on and where. That's a great idea, by the way. But, back to the highway here. What a couple of fun weeks we've had. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, that's just kind of how it's been.
So,
The
yeah.
guys,
How can they
How many
get
roads
more
closed?
exciting?
how many roads are closed?
Well, we're closed even before all the flooding, and then the flooding comes, and then,
To be honest with you, I don't even know. I just know that I started in Saluda Bottoms, down there on Saluda Hill, and went to every single spot in the county that was underwater. that's a long ways around here. And getting pictures and documenting it, trying to do our best, you know. Actually, he probably, Mr. Demery probably remembers how many roads were closed at that time. I honestly don't.
Well, I
know
mean, we had
for
421 and 56 already closed, just
Yes.
outside of the flood, and then the flooding comes, and then,
Yeah, that was a whole other can of worms, so,
but-
yeah. But it's just been crazy here the last 3 weeks. Sarah can attest to that, I'm sure, same as Matt. What do we have, the high winds, so we,
2 weeks ago.
yeah, right before, what was it? It was the day after April Fool's, wasn't it?
It was a
believe
Wednesday night,
Yeah.
Thursday morning when we had,
So,
Tulsa, yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible April Fool's joke, so, we combated that, you know, we was still trying to clean up all the rain, all the water and everything coming and the flood. We didn't have too many roads get major damage with the flood, but we did have 4 areas. Right now, I got Little Doe Run, it's got a pretty major slide on it, it's down to 1 lane. We're trying to get down there here next week and try to decide what we're gonna do with it. Thankfully, it's gravel, so it's a little easier to clean that up. Big Doe Run is definitely moving, it's moved here. It's definitely moved,
there's another
so.
deer we're running this time of year.
Yeah, well, there's a whole herd of them out there or something, 'cause it's moved. And then we have, Little Brushy Fork's got a slide on it. And then the gravel end of Brushy Fork down by Dow Ridge, get that straight, just east of Sugan Hollow Road. Too many S's and B's there, so it's got a slide on it. It hasn't impacted the road per se into the road, but it's at the road edge, so we just want people aware. We have delineators put up to kind of grab some attention, so we've got that. We did have 1 small structure that lost a wing wall, so we just found out about it literally today at 2:50. So we're gonna go down and check it out. And we don't know if that was caused from the flood or if it just, because it's older, you know. It was from the flood.
It was, yeah.
I'm with him, so, yeah. We did have a culvert blowout on, Greenbrier. We just put it in a few months ago, and we don't know exactly what happened, but there was debris there, and we think the water overran it and just pushed it out. So we recovered those pipes, got them back, so thankfully.
Greenbrier, west side, east side?
East side, yeah. It's
That's right.
Greenbrier and Greenbrier.
Oh, excuse me.
Briar, yeah, yeah. Get
Gotta get the
that
local,
right,
the local
yeah.
saying, okay.
How about just say Macedonia?
Yeah, Macedonia, there we go.
And we got it covered that way.
Yeah, so I mean, we got them recovered. We did have a, bridge approach down on Arbuckle Road washout. So that was a considerable movement trying to get trucks down there and get that put back together. It was underwater pretty good down there. Of course, we had lots of brush. Everybody's probably seen the brush. We had plow trucks out, just gently removing it because, yeah, we don't want them tore up. But that was a big lifesaver because you couldn't get equipment there quick enough or around after the receding waters. And then, we'll jump back into the 421 detour. That was a lot of fun, yeah. Yeah, we had a major pothole up on Copeland Ridge, right in front of Gary Copeland's mother's house. It was about 12 to 15 foot long, I never measured it, and probably 5 foot wide and about 10 inches deep. Nobody called us on it, we had no clue. And, you know, we're trying to run everywhere with the flood, found out about it, and we went up there and patched it immediately, but it was a major patch, just so you guys know about it. And traffic really did not do us favors up there, we'll just put it that way. But thankfully, those will be getting paved this year with community crossings. Our gravel, it's kind of in the same boat. We had to shut down 4 roads, completely shut them down to be able to grade 1 road over there. So we had some complaints about potholes on the road. With them, as much traffic as we was getting, that was the only way to do it. So we did do it, cleaned the road up. Ronnie, Copeland actually graded it for us there. Lots of comments on it, telling them a good job. So I just wanna make sure you all know that. 56 detour on Shirks Hollow coming up it. Wow, they really put their hammer on that. I guess we've been having semis go up Shirks Hollow, so if anybody's traveling Shirks, be very careful. You can't catch them all. I guess one of our backhoe operators was down there trying to clean a spot up there where the floodwaters and stuff pushing debris out, and a fuel tanker come up there fully loaded. So kinda watch. So our edges of the roads are broken off. Some of it, we don't even know where it's at no more. It's just gone. We don't know if the water took it after it got broken.
I think like Matt said, yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's the only thing it could have been. It's just because there was water everywhere, so that's Shirks Hollow right now. Pleasant Ridge had some potholes put in it. There's people driving in people's yards, so I'm sure we'll be getting.
They've widened the road.
Yeah, they widened it
I
in
traveled
places.
it Sunday, they
Yeah,
cut the corners and
so
it was like a thoroughfare.
Yeah, and it's even pushed itself down on other roads, China Mamble's got, lots more traffic, Brooksburg Mamble's more traffic, Bishop Hill's
Bishop
getting
Hill.
more traffic, even Briar is getting more traffic, so, I mean, I guess we don't realize how much traffic the highways actually entertain, and then when they're pushed off on small county roads, just the sheer magnitude of traffic going through these small roads is just unreal. And they, for lack of better terms, they just beat them to death. And
The
that's,
downfall of GPS.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
I got a road here, I'll go this way, it'll send you this way.
yeah, exactly right. So, we've been out trying to combat that, and we're doing all we can to keep up with it, but how do you keep up with something where you can't actually get out in the middle of the road and fix a hole or move debris and stuff? You got so many cars, you're afraid to get run over at that point, whether you got lights flashing or not. So we're definitely been out there trying. In the meantime, while we had a little bit of dry spell,
Whoa.
I think it was like an hour and 45 minutes, so.
Lull.
Yeah. We put in several pipes at the same time while combating this flooding issue, this roads issues and everything, so we've definitely been very busy keeping up with that. And then for you, the Lake Road is completed,
Excellent.
so they reditched that, we did get a new pipe in there at that one trouble spot,
Thanks.
so that's taken care of. And like Matt said, I just definitely want to say thank you to Sheriff Flint, all the sheriff deputies, because they was nothing but outstanding and amazing. Anything we needed, they was right there. We tried to be there as quickly as possible for them, and then Matt coming out, giving us helping hands on everything was great. I really think we worked well together. Chris Hale down here at the city, outstanding, I mean, it's hard to keep up with everything that you had to keep up with at that point. So I gotta brag on everybody, especially Sarah, because I'm sure her phone rang off the hook and she was probably tired of hearing that, so. Yeah, especially when we got going dealing with the cleanup part, so. Of course, we got Steve, he wants everything, you know how he is. I did find your new shoes, by the way, so.
Did you lose your socks in the, you got some,
Plain old socks.
I know, plain old socks.
Fancy ones must have washed down the river, didn't
If you ask nicely, Matt might have some pine salt for them new shoes too, so.
That's right. Matt was there.
Yeah, but other than that, that's all I've got, Anything else? Yeah,
Yeah, no. Sunny weather.
yeah, I'm ready.
Mhm.
I'm sure Matt's ready. I'm sure everybody else is,
When you go down along the creeks, the water came up and stayed up so long that it's changed. Right across from my house is, the water channel is moved. Hard to tell what we're gonna have next time,
Yes, so
next flood.
I will let you in on this too. Bob Owens down there, I don't know the bridge number off the top of my head. You know where I'm talking about on Wolf Run there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So them 2,200-pound concrete blocks. This last rain actually took 4 of those down the creek.
Crazy.
The one's about 150, 200 feet from where it was actually placed. So
Crazy.
I know he's getting with the DNR to get a permit and trying to figure something out if we can move all the rock, the creek rock, I guess, to move the channel back to where it's supposed to be instead of clear against the banks. And from what we're seeing is every one of our slides that we have is because the water channel is pushed against the road instead of away from the road. We even have one that was, we had the earth nails put in. It is undermining that now instead of staying where it needs to be. So we definitely gonna be getting with DNR and seeing if there's something that we can work together to do to alleviate this issue, because it just can't keep going or you're gonna lose your roads. That's just where
We
it's at.
probably have to go through the Department of Water with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's how we got by with Bobby Owens the first time, when we put about, what, 40 of them lined that bank down through there?
yeah, I wasn't there for that part.
Which if
That
it
was,
hadn't been for that, it'd probably been gone.
yeah. Oh, I
But
guarantee it'd be
they're
gone.
totally half destroyed now, though.
Yeah. Which Bobby there, he would know more about that than I would.
Yeah.
Because he was involved with that, I'm sure.
You and David did a bunch of that, and we used those sacks or
Yep.
concrete in there last time.
Yeah.
Because it used to go through the bridge, now it wants to go back behind that retaining wall
And then back into
and
the
we'll lose
bridge.
it eventually.
So we found out that that's what's happening to any one of our damaged spots, is because when you get these heavy and high rains, there's nowhere for the water to go. So it's coming in a zigzag and it's always deadheading into a wall of our road.
And then it sits there and
Just swirls and
swirls
then
and cuts
goes.
and cuts and cuts. Yep.
Yeah, it's like, almost like having a circular saw down there, you know?
Yep, exactly.
There's no FEMA disaster money for trying to mitigate that either, because during the microburst out there, when it washed all that stuff, I mean, it could change loads of topography out there.
Yeah.
And we try to put it in as an issue that we're gonna see in the future, and it wouldn't cover, so it doesn't count.
My truck, part of it is debris removal now.
So I see every once in a while an email about the mitigation plan. Is that just for planning these things out, or is it for?
Well, so we got, we were one of 107 projects in the country to get picked up by Brick Technical Systems. So we got a year into it, and they gave me a phone call the day before they're gonna come down and do a site visit. Heard a bunch of papers rustling in the background, and haven't heard a word since then. It's been 2 months ago.
But just,
So where that
I
goes,
don't know.
but
I mean, if I get, I'll keep a better eye on some of these emails. I see them, but they're talking about mitigation efforts. I don't know if it's just for planning efforts or if it's actually.
There's both. I know the state's got a grant, it's a $10,000 grant for mitigation stuff, but that relative isn't gonna go very far.
Right. I just wonder, like with everything else, if you have a plan, I hate to say it this way, if you have a plan, then maybe you are now able to apply for some funding because you have a plan. Is it kind of tied the way a lot of other funding's tied to?
Well, that's why we try to get these inspections done.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get these organizations coming in, taking a look at what we got on the business, and that way we got that report from them. It says, hey, these are some issues and these are the ways that we can fill the gaps, so.
When I get the next one, I may send it to you and then we can sit and look and see if there's anything useful.
Yeah, just get it to where I just need to sign it. I've still got about another 45 emails to go.
Brandon can do the math.
Exactly.
Something, I don't know what I did, you can sign it.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Well, look, there's the chef. I seen him out there.
He's got our lunch ready, our supper ready.
Heck yeah. Well, I'll turn it over to him. You guys are probably hungry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chase, appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Hey, Brandon.
Oh, how are you guys?
Good, good. How about you?
National Public
Is
Safety.
that barbecue sauce or blood on your?
Who knows at this point? It could be either, could be
He
both.
smells lovely. by
He
the way.
smells.
It's their new perfume. It goes on, that rhymes with Greenbrier.
Good, green bar, yeah.
National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. So we're cooking out today and tomorrow to show appreciation. We've been doing a lot of training. I just got back from CMCP this week. We learned a lot. Talked about next generation 911.
Okay, fill in the blanks.
Center Manager Certification Program.
Okay,
So we talked about next generation 911. I didn't know that your washers and dryers can text you that your laundry is done now. And so one of the major causes of house fires are dryers. So we're,
I'll tell you your bin's full.
right? So down the line, eventually your dryer is gonna call 911 if it detects that it's too hot. So if you think about the watch, so the watch went from just timepiece to now your watch can call 911. So dryers, I'm sure you might get hang-up calls from your dryer, so just some things coming down the.
I mean, we're working to get some of the calls to you, at least reduce some that aren't emergency calls, but I'm gonna think now we're gonna have dryers all over the place calling. Okay, yeah.
Won't be none from the Amish anyway.
Right. More of us might need to be Amish.
That's right.
Cut down on that, but,
Hang on.
it's pretty exciting stuff. Part of that is, enhanced caller location. So we did apply for it's called SEED. I don't remember exactly what the acronym means. But it's a grant to improve our centerline addresses for next generation 911. So like now, if you make a call, it might be 2142 South, 11,000 West. Well, next generation 911 is gonna add more identifiers onto that to triangulate your location more exact. So, but we're attending a lot of training. We've got a couple of dispatchers that have received an Excellence in Dispatch certification. And what that requires is they take 5 classes in such amount of time. So we've got a couple people, we got one done on that. We've got a couple people more working towards it. Next week is the Director Summit. I think we're gonna have a cyber warfare games class, so that ought to be interesting. So other than that, that's all we got so far. Any questions?
Brandon's been invited to speak at that conference.
Whoa,
So,
yeah, all right. Yeah,
Congratulations.
absolutely. I can see why. He does an excellent job for us.
Will you please pass on the absolute highest appreciation from the county highway? They were absolutely patient with us because we were just a little stressed out there at points.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Tell them thank you for us.
Absolutely.
And it better be good steak for them, guys.
We had hamburgers.
Hamburgers.
It's what they wanted, so
Yeah.
I went and bought hamburgers, and we're gonna do it all again tomorrow.
I'll be here.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
Is that all the departments now? Now, how about public?
If I may.
Yes, Mr. Kevin. Good.
This is such a love fest, I hate to come up here and rain on anything. No, seriously, as the county's representative on the Regional Development Authority, just wanted to say that the basic update was in the most recent article in Madison Courier, which was both fair and accurate, as usual. So that's sort of where things stand. If you missed that, look it up. The next update in a substantive way, I think, from our point of view, is that on May 8th, some of us will be meeting with the Secretary of Commerce, Adams, and the new IDC Executive Director, Jeff Blade. And Ready 2.0 is on the agenda. So hope to have more from that then. Got a few other topics I just want to hit them quick and dirty since it's been a long meeting already. Second topic is that as the Ready appointee the RDA appointee on your capital improvement master plan meetings, I was impressed. So I participated this morning at 9 a.m. on their construction point, running the call unbeknownst to me from this room or next door. And they were knowledgeable, they were good listeners, they had a wide variety of people on the phone and or online and had already met with others prior. So, so far so good. And I think it's a very important project to inform whatever you all decide going forward. But I've seen a lot of these sort of stakeholder engagement exercises over the years, shall we say. And this one was very, very professionally done and so far so good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and, you know, they're hitting the right topics, which is, okay, what's already being done, what's already in the works versus also what's the net addition that the county needs to be looking forward to in the future? How are we prepared for that? What sort of growth is gonna happen, whether we're ready for it or not? How do we anticipate that and be a part of it in such a way that it benefits as many people as possible? And yet, in full recognition, there's a lot of activity already in the city, in the buffer zone, in Hanover, and so, not a detraction from that, but in a way, in addition to what's going on in those areas. There's other parts of the county, so I was impressed. Third, I was gonna hit the 421 detour, but I think that's been covered pretty well. I happen to live where Thornton Road and Flat Bottom come together, with Copeland Ridge circling the backside of the property. I've only been there since 1879, and so we do pay attention. But wow, every day 18-wheelers. There wasn't a day that passed that was an 18-wheeler, and I don't know where on earth they came from or went to, and how they survived and how they didn't kill someone. Mind-blowing to me. Really, seriously, if you think about sort of where the Pietrkowskis and the Croziers are, that set of hairpins, 18-wheelers on that set of hairpins, I don't get it. If you go north on Jefferson Road, it's another set of, craziness. And if you go any other direction, really, it's all the same result. That's why we love Eastern Jefferson County. It's beautiful. And, so a lot of damage on Flat Bottom. The only reason I'm up here is to mention Flat Bottom Road too.
I forgot that one, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, all good. So enough of that. I'm happy to hear there's some community crossings money that might be available for the area. And then, I suppose last but not least, Spectrum. So Spectrum, I assume part of what they're doing or have been doing at least in Shelby Township and perhaps elsewhere in the county, is a result of the desire nationally for there to be greater broadband access in rural areas. I mean, part of me is curious how many people in Jefferson County now have access to the internet who did not before. I doubt that's a huge number yet. Maybe it'll get to that. But what we've seen to date in our neck of the woods are a number of very low-hanging wires, which in many cases I think could be a real challenge for combines to get underneath. I know that's the case on our property. I see no way our combine will get across the field without taking down a Spectrum wire. They were asked and warned about that. They were asked not to trespass on our property multiple times. They were asked not to harass my 88-year-old mother when I was gone. And so a lot of video, lots of still photos, lots of notes. I just don't think probably we're alone in this experience. And I kind of wonder where do we live when, someone could be on a property since 1879 and then a bunch of Russians, they're all Russian, by the way, the contractors and the subcontractors, are just running all over your land in violation of your, warning them ahead of time, violation of every no trespassing sign, and somehow always seem to do that when you're away, but your elderly parent is next door. So I don't know, I hope we can find for our own purposes a solution, not a protracted fight. That's what we want as a solution. It seems to me other contractors have gone down roadways rather than across fields and across ponds and so forth. And that would be, and bury lines, which are solutions in our case. I just have an issue with the number of people who must feel violated in this way, whereby one utility can lease airspace from another utility with no public input and no redress that I'm aware of, because I've been trying for a long time and running a little short on patience. So again, we hope for a solution. That is very parochial. So I started across 5 counties with my comments, and I've ended up on my own property. And with that, I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you.
First of all, I want to echo what Kevin said. A big thank you to Bob. We talked about it today in our River Hills meeting with Corey about the kind of reporting that he's done for us and for the county. I wish he was in every county, or you had a 5-county readership, but he has done an excellent job. And
I'd be more meetings, you really.
I would vote to get you a pay raise. I also want to thank you, gentlemen, for providing dumpsters down at Hanover Beach. It's been well, just a minute, I'm gonna get to her. But you guys got to start, and Sarah and Jason have been absolutely fantastic to work with. And I know I probably don't speak for all of the Hanover Beach. I'm sure there's some poor old souls that find something wrong with it, but it has been a true blessing for us to try to get rid of the debris down there for even the full-time residents and the part-time residents also. And Matt came down, I got one of his little yellow or white buckets.
Muck buckets?
But they have been truly amazing people to work with. Jason's been down, Sarah's been down. She got to talk to my wife more, she's the brains of the organization, but it has been a true blessing for us, for you all to help us, and to Sarah and Jason for the work they've done. They've gone above and beyond what is expected. I truly mean that. And thank you to them, and thank you for you all. Thanks to Matt for all of the work you've done. It's a muddy issue, let's put it that way. And it's
That's
not
an
getting-
understatement though, right?
Yeah.
And Jason did forget another Hanover Beach Hill Road that was closed for, I guess, some of my neighbors said for an hour or 2 hours. And part of the road's gone now, of course, but,
My bad.
it was
worried
a
about
problem
Green Bar.
everywhere. It was a problem everywhere. But he came down, we had a tree leaning over ready to fall on the road. And he came down, and the guys had it cut down, and of course, with all the debris, you didn't know which one was, which was which, but it's truly been a community effort, and the cooperation you all have given and given them the authority to do that kind of work. It's very appreciative. We thank you very much for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Bobby, you didn't say much.
Just taking it all in tonight.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Sarah, anybody? Dave? Bobby?
No, just starting back on trying to get something going on the gun range, so
No.
I'll keep you posted on that.
I do wanna thank Sarah and you guys for getting in touch with me to let me be able to come here for you guys today.
Yep. She's all over it. Well, yep, I don't have anything tonight either. So I'll entertain
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second that motion.
all approve, say aye. Aye. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all for coming.
Coming.